Besides viewing PDF files from your .NET MAUI application, it turns out that you, dear viewer, are also interested in generating PDF files from that same .NET MAUI application. So let's explore that in this video. In an earlier video, I've already shown you how to build your own free custom PDF viewer inside of your .NET MAUI application that works on Windows, macOS, iOS, and Android. It was actually pretty simple. With the exception of Android, you can just get a web view in there, load your PDF file in that, and it will show up nicely, built-in PDF support. For Android, we had to use a custom JavaScript library. Well, not custom, it's out there, pdf.js. Just plug that inside of your .NET MAUI application and load your PDF in that, and it will again show up nicely. Free option. Also, other options are available through control suites, third parties. If you have no clue what I'm talking about, go check out the video. I would highly recommend it in the video description. But it is important that you know what is going on there, because I'm going to use the code base from that video as the starting point for this video, just so that we have a vehicle to let the PDF file show inside of our application. Now, besides that, and also under that video, a lot of people have asked me over the years, hey, how do I generate reports? How do I generate PDFs? And this is an amazing solution. It's called iText. I think before it was iText Sharp. Now it's called iText, and I think the latest version is iText 7, which is open source. There's a whole company behind it. They do all kinds of amazing stuff with PDFs and probably even more. One thing to note is that it is dual licensed, so there is restrictions in place if you use it commercially, if you use it free. There is some kinds of stuff in there. You know, I don't really go into that stuff because that's something that you have to figure out yourself. But do keep in mind that that is there. But you know, there's probably a lot of applications that you could use this for free, which is pretty amazing. But keep that in mind. Important stuff. So I'm just going to dive into the code and show you how to generate PDF files inside of your .NET MAUI application. And the really cool thing is it works for any .NET project. So if you have WPF, WinForms, any type of .NET project, you can generate PDFs after watching this video. Let's go check it out. Okay, here we are, Visual Studio 2022. I loaded up that project that I just mentioned from the other video. This is going to be our starting point. I'm going to give you a brief overview, but please still check out the other video because it's good for my YouTube stats, okay? Just do it. So here we have a simple grid with a web view, and inside of my resources for this project, I have this my PDF file. It's going to load that. I have a little bit of code here in the code behind for Android to actually make sure that we can load local files. For Android, again, we have to load it into this pdf.js library. Otherwise, we can just say, hey, webview.source is my PDF, and it will just run. So if I run this on Windows or any of the other platforms, you will see the .NET MAUI application come up, and it will show that PDF. And what could be the contents? I don't know. Well, maybe you want to subscribe to my channel. Again, good for the YouTube stats. So just do that. Click on the button down below. And while you do that, I'm going to move on to the next part here. And I'm going to close this application, leave all of this in place. And what we're going to do is add a little button that generates a PDF file and shows that in this same PDF viewer that we have right here. Before we do that, I need to add a couple of NuGet packages to actually make that PDF generation possible. So go over to your Solution Explorer, right-click on your project, and do Manage NuGet Packages. And then you're going to search for iText. Now, there is a couple of things here. You can see I already searched for iText Bouncy. Maybe that's just a good thing to do because this was what we need to. Bouncy Castle is a whole other library that has some simple cryptography functionality on board, which is what we need as well. That's just built in and very tightly coupled with iText right here. So just make sure that you have that one to make sure everything goes smooth here. And it probably has a dependency, I would think, on iText. If not, I'm going to install that separately. But you can install this, latest at the time of recording, 8:03. And you can see here installing Bouncy Castle, all right. Newtonsoft JSON, iText Commons. Okay, I don't think it actually installs the package that I also need. So I'm going to let it install this just to be very sure. Also go to iText without the Bouncy and find iText 7 right here. You can see 17 million downloads. 17 million people, can't be wrong. This must be an amazing library. Again, check out the license, check out the options there. Definitely do that because these people have been delivering wonderful work. iText 7 also install just to make sure that we have everything here. This will bring in a whole new dependency thing right here, dependency graph. Apply all of that, all the licenses I accept. and it will be installed in a little bit. Now, with all of that in place, we don't need to do anything else but the PDF generation, the thing that we actually want to see. Now, to make that possible, let's add a little button right here. So in my grid, I'm going to add row definitions. So I can do row definitions star so that the web view takes up the whole thing. And then I'm going to do 50 so that we have 50 down at the bottom where our button is going to be. So let's add that button that I've been talking about. Grid dot row is 1 text generate PDF. Sounds like a great idea. Clicked is, let's generate a new clicked handler, and it's done that, and close the tag right here. So now we have a button that's hooked up to this clicked handler, and in the clicked handler we're going to use the generate PDF code. Let's go to our code behind. Main page example.cs. So we had this code already in place. Here we have our new button clicked handler. Now, before I'm going to paste in a bunch of code because the whole generation of PDF is kind of like what this video is about, but also it's the super hard thing and you're going to have to do some figuring out yourself. I'm very sorry. This is not something that I can just give you and here's how it works, because all the PDFs will have different layouts. You will have to loop through items if you're going to make an invoice or some other list, right? So you have to take account of all the markup elements and where you want things to be. I cannot decide that for you. I can show you the basics, then you have to go out, figure out iText documentation. I will put the link down in the show notes to make that all work for you, but I can show you the basics on how to get started, which is what I'm going to do right here. So let me paste some code here from off screen, this whole thing, and don't be scared, here it comes. Boom. Okay, adds the missing usings. Hopefully this is also indented the right way. Let's put the solution explorer away so we can see all of it right here. So we've got all of this, and let's go from top to bottom. So I'm going to specify the file name where I'm going to generate this PDF in, maui.net.pdf. For Android, so file systems on mobile devices can still be super hard. So for Android, I couldn't really figure out a super easy way, at least on like the newer API levels, to write something to the common documents folder because of the app sandbox and that kind of stuff. So what I did is add a little bit of Android specific code. So if you switch here, this is the combo box to switch between the context, right, for the different platforms. If I switch to Android, this lights up. And what you can see happening is like, hey, I'm going to get the external files directory for the directory documents. But this documents folder lives inside of my application sandbox. Okay, I can still reach it. I can do all the things with it, but you cannot really access it through a file explorer super easy. So that you will see that in a little bit. For Android, a little bit complicated. I think even for newer Android versions, what you might want to do is use the Essentials Permissions API to request async the permissions dot write storage write and request those, right? And this will request pop a little dialog like, hey, I want to write something to the external storage. Make sure that you have the right entry in the Android manifest. To be very honest, I haven't deployed this to an actual physical device. It might be needed there, but this worked for my scenario without the permissions. So, check out what you need to do for the file system right here, but there might be something special. For other platforms, so for not Android, let's leave it at Windows for now, you can just say, hey, path combine, get this special path folder, my documents works. You don't really have to care where it's saved. You can care if you want to have it backupped to like a cloud service or whatnot, or write it somewhere, but you can just use this with the path.combine. Now here is where iText comes in, the PDF writer. Because I've pasted it in, this already added like usings at the top automatically for me, because that's how smart Visual Studio is. So you can see iText image, iText kernel, PDF, canvas, draw. All these stuff automatically added because I pasted this stuff in. There's a couple of things it didn't work out Visual Studio, so I need to do that now. Document can be a couple of things. I know it's going to be iText layout, so we can have that thing in here. It adds it to the top, and I think that's everything. We'll fix this error later. So we have this PDF writer using, because this is a disposable thing, so whenever we're done, we can just dispose this to do not have any memory leaks. I think this might be true for also this PDF document, so make sure that you dispose of the things as you go through this. So we're going to have this PDF writer, which is actually going to be the thing that writes the PDF for us. And we provide that with this file path. So, PDF writer, this is where you're going to write this PDF to. Then we're going to create a PDF document. If you've been working with XML before, this might look familiar. You're going to create an XML document. Here you have this PDF document, and we're going to specify it with the writer. Like, hey, this PDF document is going to be written by this writer, right? Inversion of control, dependency injection, that kind of stuff. Here we have the writer that's going to be used to write this document. Then we have another document which we provide with PDF, so it's kind of like all layered. And from here, we can actually start writing things. So we can create this paragraph object, the header, and I'm going to do this MAUI PDF sample. And I'm going to, in a kind of like fluent way, set all these properties. Set text alignment, so I'm going to center this. Set font size, I'm going to make this 20 points. And then document.add header, I'm going to add that to my document. Then I'm going to make a paragraph subheader. Welcome to .NET MAUI, .NET Multi-Platform App UI, right? We have that. Again, going to center it, make the font a little bit smaller. Add that to my document. Line separator, just going to add a little line in there with a solid line. You can do other lines as well. Image stream. Here is the little error still. I'm going to add the .NET bot in here. Now, to be very honest, I have added this PNG image to my raw resources right here together with that PDF. So resources raw .NET bot is right here. That's what it's going to be using. You can download an image of that what you want, generate your own image. I don't really care. You can use any image. I have a little helper method in here. Again, I'm going to copy that, which takes the image and turns that into a memory stream because that's how this stuff works. So let's just put that in here. Doesn't do really any magic. It opens through the Essentials APIs, like, hey, open from package file, the image name, .NETBot.png, and it's going to copy that to a memory stream and it's going to return that. So now it knows about this. We have to do await. So let's make this an async thing here. And now it's all happy, right? So we're going to get that image stream and we can say, hey, this iText layout element image, right? We have multiple things that's called an image. So we need to specify this is the iText image. Is a new image with an image data factory. So a little bit complicated here. Images are complicated. We're going to create it with this image stream. We're going to set the horizontal alignment, right? So not text center alignment because this is just horizontal alignment. Again, set it in the center. And I still set the text alignment as well. I don't think we actually need this. Let's just do only this horizontal alignment. Again, document.add. So you're just building your document gradually by adding these blocks to it. And you can see, I'm pretty confident that you can set coordinates if that's what you want. But by using it with these paragraphs and things, you kind of like layer it as a horizontal stack layout in .NET MAUI. You're just going to add all these elements and you will get a pretty cool PDF document from this. Footer. So let's add a footer too. Paragraph. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See, in case you didn't do that earlier, this is your sign. Do it now because you love this stuff. You love how to learn generate PDF files. And to reward me, you're going to subscribe to my channel. Set text alignment right. This is going to be on the right. Font color light gray. You know, it's important, but not that important. Set font size. Again, document.add that footer as well. Document.close because we're done. And here it's going to dispose of this PDF writer, right? So it's going to dispose all these things. And that's all we need to generate this PDF file. So now that we've got that, actually, let's run it right now. And the next step I'm going to take is show that directly into the PDF viewer that we have inside of our application. But for now, let's run this on Windows and see what it does when we actually generate the file, how that shows up. Because if it's not Android, so if Android, it's not, we're going to go to the else. We're going to go to this file path and we're going to write it to the My Documents folder, which is just, you know, the Windows Documents folder that you probably know and love in Windows. We can just go there and you can see the PDF file actually showing up. So we can just inspect it with the PDF viewer that's on our Windows machine. That's kind of like the upside from running this on the desktop platforms. You can just inspect the file systems and that kind of stuff super much easier. So here we have our PDF file showing up as we did before. And here we have this big button, Generate PDF. So let's click it. It's going to generate. We don't really have incorporated any feedback here, so that's fine. I'm just going to assume that I'm the best software developer in the world, and this worked in one time. So let's go into the File Explorer for Windows. Yes, my drive is very, very full. Thank you for noticing. And then I go to my documents, and here we have this MAUI.NET PDF. And whenever I open it, you can see, hey, we have this PDF, and this is what it looks like. We added that paragraph, we added the other paragraph, we added that separator line, we added the image, and we added that little footer right there. Super cool. We now have this PDF file generated. Now let's see how we can show that actually back directly here inside of our application. I can actually borrow some code that I wrote earlier. Here you can see it where I set the source. I don't need this append to mapping. Well, it's going to do this anyway. Right, it's going to do this anyway, so you still need this. If this is the only thing that you're going to do, like not care about this stuff that I wrote earlier, you still need this because you're going to load on Android local files, so you're still going to need this custom mapping. Watch the other video if you don't know what this is about, but for this it will work. And I'm going to copy this little piece right here because we still need to differentiate between Android and the rest of the world. So whenever the whole PDF is generated, I'm going to say if Android, and now I can just paste in the rest. I can just set this to the file path that we generate here, right? So this is going to be the same on Android and other platforms, but I can just copy that because we have that same parameter, the same variable, and I can just paste that in here instead of the my PDF that was now coming from the assets right here, right? We don't need that anymore. We're going to load it from wherever we saved it. And actually, you want to remove this Android asset right here because this path is going to be a full path. It's not going to be Android assets. That's when you provide it together with your resources. You can just have this file path right now that should be loadable on Android directly. And here for the source, same thing. We have a full path here in this variable, so let's just assign it to that. And if I do this on, well, let's go off script. Let's go on a little adventure. Let's run this on Android actually, and I'm going to fire this up on the Android emulator and see what happens if it actually works. So on Android, obviously, we're going to see the same thing because it's a .NET MAUI application. Write your code once, run it everywhere. We're going to see in a different form factor, obviously, the PDF viewer in the top that's going to load the PDF from our resources. Then at the bottom, we're going to have that button to generate the PDF. We're going to click that, and now it's not only going to generate it in the file path that we specify, but it's also going to load it inside of that PDF viewer on the top, the PDF that we've just generated. And there we go. The application is coming up. It's being deployed to my Android emulator that I have got running right here. Here we go. It should show up. Yes, here we are. So the viewer is going to load. You're going to see that. Subscribe to my channel. I think you've gotten enough hints now. Just subscribe, click the button. And now whenever I click this generate button down, generate PDF button down here below, it's going to generate the PDF. It's going to take a little while, and it's going to load that exact same PDF because that's the power of PDFs. Also, like write once, run anywhere. You're going to see that in this viewer right here. And if I know the correct short button for Android, I can actually zoom in here as well, and you can inspect that this is like the exact same thing that we just saw on Windows, generating a PDF on Android, Windows. We've seen it all, and showing it inside of our own PDF viewer. Super cool stuff right here in your .NET MAUI application. And there's that. There's probably other libraries that can do it as well. I also know that the component vendors that I just mentioned for PDF viewers, they usually also have functionality to also generate PDF files, which might be even easier if you also use their reporting tools and all that kind of stuff. But again, if you're looking for like free options to explore your things, keep the license in mind for iText, but this might be a very good option for you. Is this everything you wanted to know about PDFs, generating, viewing them? What else did I miss? Let me know down in the comments. Are you liking this? What do you want to see next? I'll see you for the next video. Maybe you still missed that PDF viewer one. Then here's your chance. Click on this link and I'll see you there.